Call this meeting to order. Thank you all. This will be a meeting of the regular session of the Mayor and Council of City of Bisbee, County of Coast Chiefs, State of Arizona. It's being held on Tuesday, September 17th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at our council chambers. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Juanetta Hill. Councilmember Pete Skinner.
Here.
Councilmember Frank Davis.
Here.
Mayor Ken Budge.
Here.
Councilmember Leslie Jones. Here. Councilmember Mouse Louie.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Anna Klein. Here. City Staff Stephen Hawkins, City Manager. Ashley Coronado, City Clerk. Terry Bagley, Finance Director. Matthew Gurney, Public Works Director. Tim Cox, Police Chief. Jay Ritchie, Deputy Police Chief. Jim Richardson, Fire Chief. Joe Estes, City Attorney.
Thank you, everyone, to attend tonight, and those that are online. We'll start tonight. A moment of silence will be a minute of personal reflection, which I'll ask you to stand now, and then we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. I have quite a few things tonight on my announcements and proclamations, so if you'll bear with us for a minute, we'll take care of some of these things. First order of business is I have a proclamation I'd like to read. This is personal to us because it is deals with a very, very rare disease, and it actually affects one of our close members here in our family of the city, our city attorney. So this is, whereas the Pitt-Hopkins syndrome is a rare and severe neurological genetic disorder caused by a spontaneous mutation or deletion of the TC4 gene, and whereas the Pitt-Hopkins affects brain and nervous system development, it is characterized by intellectual disability and development delay, breathing problems, epilepsy, and reoccurring seizures, gastrointestinal issues, lack of speech, and distinctive facial features. And whereas the children of the Pitt-Hopkins syndrome typically have a happy, excitable demeanor with frequent smiling and laughter, and whereas fewer than 1,500 people worldwide have been diagnosed with this Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, and whereas even though the cause of Pitt-Hopkins is known, there are currently no pharmaceutical treatments available for this order, and whereas the Pitt-Hopkins Research Foundation annually celebrates September 18th as International Pitt-Hopkins Syndrome Awareness Day to raise awareness and funding for research, this date was chosen to bring attention to the disorder's cause, and which is a spontaneous mutation or deletion of the 18th chromosome. And whereas the Pitt-Hopkins Research Foundation is a volunteer organization of families and professionals dedicated to finding a cure for this syndrome through research, funding, education, and advocacy, the foundation's goal is to bring practical treatment into current medical use. Now therefore, I, Ken Budge, Mayor, City of Bisbee, do hereby proclaim September 18, 2024 as Pitt-Hopkins Syndrome Awareness Day in Bisbee City, and encourage all citizens to increase awareness and understanding of this syndrome, and in order to assist those individuals and families who live with this condition every day of their lives. So sorry. Thank you. That's the boy there that has.
That's Cody. Thanks to everybody coming out for this proclamation.
So, yeah, it's a rare one, and I'm glad that we can.
One in about 5 million if you do the numbers right.
Wow.
I I keep trying to get coded by lottery tickets, it's clearly.
Not a Vegas person, okay.
He will be 31 on the 28th of this month.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on now. I have the privilege right now to Library Award Acknowledgement. Oh, you are back there. Good. I'm glad to see you. I want you to come forward and we'll present the National Medal from Museums and Libraries. Our two great and more library people are here tonight. And they actually went back to Washington, D.C. to receive this award. It's quite an honor. There is only 10 that were actually named, 5 museums and 5 libraries across the entire United States. And we were one of the 5. Understand there was 15 finalists, and we actually were one of the 5. So that speaks a lot to our library and the people who work there, and also all of our volunteers. So why don't you, whichever one, or you both want to say something, of course, and then we'll take some pictures. And I also have a special guest here from the governor's office. So I'm going to let her have a minute too. So go ahead,
Well,
Jason.
she'll be better than I will. But yeah, I want to take this.
You run this thing. So come on. Show that off.
Yeah. So we did bring the medal here with us. So yeah, the Institute of Museum and Library Services, they the Institute of Museum and Library Services since 1994 has they honored, I think, it honored 200 museums and libraries, and it is the nation's highest honor for museum and library service. And we're just completely thrilled to be able to bring this from Washington, D.C. to Bisbee. We are, this is obviously a community-wide effort. All libraries are, and so we want to honor the Bisbee community and the support from City Council, from the city manager, all city staff. Really should have ownership in this. It takes a whole town to do this. So we're just really thrilled. I'm so proud of my staff here with us tonight. Allison Williams, our Library Services Coordinator. Gretchen Hill, our Early Literacy Coordinator. Damaris Bernhardt, our Library Assistant. And Sarah Plunkett, she was our community member who the Institute flew out to Washington, D.C. with us to represent our community. And Sarah, we're just so thankful that you made the trip with us.
It truly takes a community and to make this all happen. But it has to have the vision from the leaders, and so that's why I feel so blessed to actually have you all there that actually work so hard to do this. Come on up, we'll take a picture or two, and then where is Natalia? There you are. And we'll bring her up to it in just a second. So go ahead and introduce yourself. This is from the governor's office. She has a bit of a award also.
I do. Hi everybody, Honorable Mayor and Council, community members. My name is Natalia Tiveros, and I have the privilege of serving as a Deputy Director for Governor Hobbs' Southern Arizona office. We are located in Pima County. I had the privilege and the honor of working with the library staff earlier this year at a community event, and it was one of the most fun things I've done in my career. So I really appreciate the opportunity to partner with y'all. I have here a commendation on behalf of Governor Hobbs that, if you all will allow me, I will read out loud. It is written in first person, so use your imagination. Let me go ahead and begin. Whereas, in 1882, the first Copper Queen Library was established in the east end of the Copper Queen Mercantile Store with a collection of 400 volumes. And whereas, in 1906, the books were removed from the original brick building, which was then demolished to make way for a larger facility designed by local architect Frederick C. Hurst, and the new Renaissance Revival building opened its doors in March 1907, with the second floor serving as a reading and game room and the third floor as a library. And whereas, the has withstood floods, fires, pandemics, depressions, recessions, all solidifying its status as an Arizona institution committed to meeting the individual needs of the community. And whereas in 2019, the Bisbee Library was named the best small library in America, a testament to its outstanding service and community impact. And whereas in 2024, the Bisbee Library became a recipient of the National Medal for Museum and Library Service, the nation's highest honor of this kind, further recognizing its dedication and excellence in serving the community. Now therefore, I, Katie Hobbs, Governor of the State of Arizona, recognize and celebrate the Copper Plain Library's rich history, resilience, and significant contributions to the community, making it a cherished institution in Arizona.
Yes, you need to truly understand how significant this is across the entire United States. So it's really quite an honor, and we should be blessed that we have such a. You got a wide enough angle?
Yeah, if I could get you to scooch in a little bit.
I'm tall.
You're
Here, you hold this one, 'cause this is yours.
you're all friends, so you can get a little closer. Okay, if you all want to do some smiling, that always helps. That helps make a better picture. Hold it, I'm not quite done with you yet. You know how we are. And we'll be on Facebook in 15 minutes or so. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, you just want to leave?
We worked all day. All right, quickly, I'm just going to give a couple of minutes to our police chief and also Councilmember Klein. If you'd like to go first, Councilmember Klein, give you a couple of minutes, and then I'll have the police chief to make an announcement. Thanks.
First off, I would like to thank the Bisbee Police Department and the Southern Arizona DUI Task Force for their saturation detail conducted after the Blues Festival on the 7th. There was a nice crowd and we all seemed to be having a great time. However, there have been numerous postings on social media with false information, and I'd like to remind the public that, 1, the police department does not need traffic fines to fund the purchase of new cruisers or equipment. That comes from careful budgeting, planning, and sometimes grant money. Thank you, Chief Cox, for being so conscientious in these matters. 2, the City of Bisbee does not receive any money from traffic fines, not a penny. The county does. So there's that. 3, our public safety departments cooperate with each other, with other agencies in the county to help each other out when needed and if available. This also applies with our fire department. Also, any AZ Post certified peace officer has the authority to enforce law throughout the state, not just in their jurisdiction. The only exception is on tribal land. And the certified members of this department are authorized to exercise peace officer powers pursuant to applicable state law. AAC R 13-4-103, ARS 1-215-28, ARS 13-105-29, ARS 41-1823. The authority of a certified peace officer extends to any place in the state of Arizona. ARS 133871 as follows. Where the peace officer has the prior consent of the chief of police, marshal, sheriff, or other department or agency head or duly authorized representative having responsibility for law enforcement within the jurisdiction or territory. B, where the peace officer has probable cause to believe and that's ARS 13-3883. 1, a felony has been committed and probable cause to believe the person to be arrested has committed the felony. 2, a misdemeanor has been committed in the peace officer's presence and there is probable cause to believe the person committed the offense. 3, a person was involved in a traffic accident and committed a criminal traffic violation pursuant to ARS 28-121, immediately prior to or following the traffic accident. 4, a misdemeanor or petty offense has been committed and probable cause to believe the person to be arrested has committed the offense. C, a peace officer may stop and detain a person as is reasonably necessary to investigate an actual or suspected violation of any traffic law committed in the officer's presence and may serve a copy of the traffic complaint for any alleged civil or criminal traffic violation. And on September 9th, a press release went out and reads as follows. For immediate release, September 29th, 2024. Task force makes 3 DUI arrests on September 7th detail. Bisbee, Arizona, 9/7/24. The Southeastern Arizona DUI Task Force made 3 DUI arrests during saturation detail conducted in the Warren area of Bisbee on Saturday, September 7th, due to the Bisbee Blues Festival. The detail was performed by the Bisbee Police Department, Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Wichita City Police Department, and the Sierra Vista Police Department. The detail resulted in the following: 28 traffic stops or contacts, 23 warnings or repair orders, 1 miscellaneous civil citation, 3 contacted designated drivers, 1 warrant arrest, 1 regular DUI misdemeanor arrest, 1 extreme DUI misdemeanor arrest, and 1 drug-related DUI misdemeanor arrest. The blood alcohol content, BAC, for the extreme DUI arrest was .209. The other alcohol-related arrest and 1 drug-related arrest required blood draws. With the continuous support from the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety, the Southeastern Arizona DUI Task Force reminds drivers that if you choose to drive hammered, you will get nailed. Get a designated driver, not a DUI. And this was a well-written, detailed accounting of the task force operation. I truly appreciate the professionalism and transparency of the report. Thank you, Sergeant Nash, Department DUI Task Force Coordinator. As we can see, there was a number of various citations and arrests. I'm sure due to these stops, a possible tragedy was prevented, something we all should be happy about. I say this as someone whose family was hit head-on by a drunk driver when I was 4 years old. The fire department didn't have the ambulance service back then, and I'm glad, because my dad was working that night, and he would have been the one picking up his family. When he got to the Copper Queen Hospital, he was told my mom, his wife, wouldn't survive beyond a few hours, and my oldest brother, his son, most likely would not survive through the night. But by the grace of God, we all made it. That's the other thing. Due to others' carelessness or stupidity, our public safety personnel responds to some horrific scenes. These incidents are something first responders carry with them the rest of their lives. There were shuttles running, and as noted in the report, some people were responsible and had designated drivers. There are no reasons for driving impaired. So yes, I am grateful to the Bisbee Police Department when they have these details, especially after these events. It's always best to be proactive rather than reactive. Thank you.
Thank you. To segue into that, our police department is actually holding their night out. Chief Cox, it's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30 on the 24th, is that correct?
Tuesday, 24th, yes, sir.
And has food, Want to say a couple?
I thought you were gonna run with it, I'm like, right
Well,
on.
you know more than I do. I'll get it wrong.
So just real quick, wanted to make a public announcement because several of us were gone last week and we didn't update the Facebook page like we should have. The Bisbee Police Department is hosting a national night out on Tuesday, September 24th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. for the community. We will be providing free hot dogs and hamburgers for everybody. All the local agencies have been invited by me. I have confirmations from several, so Service PD, Cochise County Sheriff's Office, even CCOM and our dispatch center will be there. And we'll have little handouts for the kids and ID kits and stuff for them. And it's mainly just a community building event for us to be there, have the community come out, meet us, say hi, have a good time. Hopefully not throw a lot of things. And we'll all enjoy ourselves and have a hamburger and hot dog together, and we'll call it a night and go home.
Location?
The location's gonna be the lower vistas, is that what we decided, Ashley? Or the upper? Or by the flagpole?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flagpole.
Lower vistas by the flagpole, it's a Vista Park.
Okay, good for the flag.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, moving on, the next item would be called the public. I have quite a few signed up, but they're all mostly for item 3, so we'll wait till that. I do have one that says general discussion. Mr. Out. You want to do Prowl or general discussion? Michael? Did you sign up for general discussion?
I thought it was just a sign-in sheet.
Oh.
I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
You have to talk, man.
We're not gonna track you, we're just, anybody wants to speak, I thought we usually put that out there. Okay, fine. Then we'll just move on to general business. So, first order of general business is accounts payable. Can I have a motion?
I move that we pay accounts payable in the amount of $300,082.02, subject to availability of funds.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, for accounts payable. Any items in question from the council? Go ahead, Mel.
On page 9, the sewer fund, we have a rebatable repairs, that's 6,250. What does that mean, rebatable repairs? Under, yes, contract expenses, services, operation management. $6,250.
That's for the Jacobs contract.
Okay, when you say rebatable, what do you mean?
It's just the way the invoice is split out, and it's all contract services.
Are we getting the money back, or?
No,
Okay.
they're talking about, there's a certain amount of repairs that are covered, under the contract, so that's that portion that's covered under the contract before it exceeds the 130.
Yeah, it's rebatable for them, not us.
Oh, okay, well, just, it doesn't make sense
That's how
here.
it's called.
Okay. One more on page 10, for advertising. What's Miles Partnership, 4,245 advertising? What was it for?
Miles Partnership.
Miles Partnership under advertising.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to check with Doug and get back to you on that.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, anyone else? Yeah, go ahead.
On page 1, down city clerk, election administrative, $3,000. What's that for?
That's the cost of our elections, basically.
We have to pay the county a
Programming.
certain portion.
Not free. Not free.
Yes. They program our city ballots, and they send them all out. When they come in, they're the ones who tabulate them and all that.
That's why we're sitting here.
All right.
Unfortunate. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, no other questions, we have a motion and a second to approve accounts payable amount of $300,082.02. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it, so moved. Moving on to item 2, this is approval of the consent agenda. We have 3 items tonight, A through C. First one is approval of the minutes from September 3rd. Second is a park and facility right-of-way use permit for the Echo Hope Ranch being held for a March 9th. It's a walk from the Ironman down to Bisbee Coffee Company. And the last one is a special liquor license submitted by the Copper Queen Community Hospital Foundation for an event being held on 16 Erie Street on October 19th. Anybody have anything to pull? Seeing none, I'll take a motion for the consent agenda.
I mean,
I move to approve the consent agenda items A through C.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items A through C as shown. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Hearing none, the ayes have it, so moved. All right, we don't have anything under old business, so we'll move on into new business. First order of new business is item 3. This is discussion and possible approval of park and facility and right-of-way use permit for the use of Brewery Gulch and City Park area for the Prowl to be held on starting Friday, March 14th at 11:59 p.m. and ending on Sunday, March 16th at 11:59 a.m. This includes setup and breakdown. So the way I'm going to do this, there's a lot signed up for this. So what I'd like to do, first off, I'm going to say a few things, and then I'm going to bring up the organizers, let them speak, and then we'll bring up anybody that signed up that would like to address what's going on. Just for information, so you all know, we met with the organizers last Monday. I did, and with the city manager. I asked for that meeting mainly because of the history that has gone on with this event. Not last year, but the year before that, there was a couple of major problems where the motorcycles blocked the roadway. We couldn't get any emergency vehicles up. There was a problem with allowing people into the gulch that didn't pay their entrance fee, and they weren't really wanting to be part of the situation. So that was corrected last year as far as the ability for the roadway to be kept open and a better situation on the way they signed up and moved it out in front of the Lyric. So things improved, which was good. However, the situation that existed was that they were going to fence off the sidewalk so that that becomes public access and public property where anybody could wander as they may see fit. I went down, of course, after a few hours, and all the fencing was laying on the ground. It was mostly a trip hazard instead of actually kept anybody onto the sidewalk or off. So that's not really working too well, so I addressed that with them and asked them to please figure out what they're going to do about that. And it's not before us tonight, but there's also a situation with the, if they want to get a liquor permit, there was a lot of confusion on what area was actually part of their liquor control area. They have to be responsible not to allow liquor out of their area or any outside liquor coming into their area. So that's going to have to be dealt with when they bring their liquor permit towards us. So we won't discuss that tonight because it's not before us, but I wanted to warn them that this year we will have 3 police officers that are going to be assigned there, and part of their responsibility will be to make sure that occurs. So with that said, I just want to make an upfront statement that there's nothing here at the city wanting to close this down. I don't know where all this hoo-ha came from. That was never the intention. It was never said on Monday's meeting. I'm a little bit miffed because what I did say was the city actually sent this forward to us with an approval to approve it. That's the city staff's recommendation. What I told the organizers was, since I'm not able to talk to any of my council members, because I'd be breaking open meeting law more than 2 anyway, that I wanted to make sure they had 4 votes because I didn't know if they were there. That was my objective, and said I would be fine with not putting this on the agenda within the next 3 days. When I have to post it, or I'll hold it back and let you talk to the other council members and make sure you're all good on it. They said, nope, go ahead and put it on. So I did. So then all of a sudden I thought, well, they will just talk to the these other are my fellow council members. But then I hear all these letters coming out and all this hoo-ha about businesses saying we're shutting it down. That's not the intent. The intent is that we wanted them for me to address those couple of issues. All I want is people to live by the rules, okay? That's since I have to sign these permits with my mayor's signature, then I'm responsible to the city that those items are followed, okay? And when they don't follow those, then it puts our city at risk, and it puts actually the organizers at risk. So they should also have to follow those. So with that being said, I just wanted to clear up this idea that somehow the city was somehow against this. We're not against this. We have 7 people up here that will approve it or not approve it based on a 4 vote. So with that, my only question will be tonight to you when you present will be how will you handle the ability to allow the general public to come into that area? Because you will not control the sidewalks. You'll only control the street area and the parking area up to and of course City Park. So if you can help me with that one, I'm all good. Deal with some signage issues and a few simple things that you'll take care of, no problem. But yeah. So whoever wants to, Matthew, if you'd like to come up before us and let us know, or whoever, whichever one of you.
All right, yeah. Cool. I'll start, and then I'm going to hand it off to my partner, Chris. I want to start off with saying thank you to the community for showing up today. Just to clarify back again, this was just to clarify the confusion. I've been hearing a lot that the community was not back in the event, or the community was not reaping from it. So this is just showing you that I feel like this here is the majority of our Bisbee community. These are a lot of business owners, and they're just here to state how they feel about it. I feel like we've had some confusions in the past of here and there. So like I said, they're just here to verify that. Like you said, we did meet on Monday to kind of clarify that. We've made a lot of initiative to try to contact you prior to try to get these things in line. We were not trying to rush into this at all. What it is back again, we are 6 months away from our event. We're pretty much tired of answering the emails of when is the event date. We saw that it was put on the Events of Bisbee page, so we felt like we were in the clear. We put it out there as well. Like I said, we've made initiative in the past, in years. We spoke directly with you, Mayor. We've worked with your city police, as your city police chief knows. We did have a big vehicle come into the event. I did everything I could to make sure that happened and worked with them. So all we're trying to say here today is this is the community stating that they backed the event, and we felt like we needed them to state their opinion on it. And like I said, guys, I want to say thank you to everybody, my family, my friends, my partner Chris Hubert here, Brian, Tyler, everybody that showed up today. I can go on for hours, but I'm just going to hand this off to my partner Chris. And like I said, guys, thank you for showing up.
Thank you, Matthew. Tiny, it's going to be hard to call you Matthew the whole time, but Tiny is what he goes by sometimes. Mayor, members of the City Council, first of all, thank you very much for your time. And first and foremost, I want to address what you said, Mayor. I think probably at our meeting last week, and you had said, I mean, and maybe I misconstrued this, but we heard you probably don't have the votes at the City Council.
No,
It absolutely scared us of like, wow, okay. And we've been working on this all year, and we had thought things are looking good. We did a good job. We reached out to the community. We reached out to the chief of police. We reached out to you, and we thought we had really improved upon everything. The fencing, absolutely, we need to work on it. The other picture that you posted was the vendor booth was blocking part of the actual access. No more vendor there. First and foremost, before I even get into anything, is we're here to work with you and be good partners in this. We're not here to try to trash the town or do anything. He's a Bisbee local. I'm coming down from Tucson here, but with that, I will start. My name is Chris Hubert, along with my partner Matthew Merrill. We are the organizers of the Prowl Motorcycle Show. I first met Matthew, a Bisbee native, here in the City Park back in 2018 when he had organized another motorcycle show called the Howland Prowl. COVID and life unfortunately sidelined that show, but 3 years later he asked me if I would like to try to organize a new motorcycle show in Bisbee. Matthew's family and father and friends have been organizing rides to Bisbee since the 1970s, and I've been organizing rides and motorcycle shows for the last 20 years as a hobby. I'm happy to say that after 3 years of hard work, we've achieved our goal to try to be the best motorcycle show in Arizona. Now, that's just our opinion. We didn't get in the word anything like the library or anything, but in our minds, I think we're doing a pretty good job. It's probably, I know, we can still be better, but one of the big things that differentiates the Prowl from other motorcycle shows, plain and simple, is Bisbee. We hear it time and time again that the laid-back, fun, inclusive motorcycle show around this town, that's what differentiates it and what makes people want to come back every time. People of all types come to Bisbee for the Prowl. Many work all year long on a shoestring budget to create new works of art to display in Bisbee at the Prowl. These are craftsmen and women who are creating rolling art to show at our event here in your town. While we understand motorcycles are loud, and I'll be the first one to admit, it bothers me. And it's not everybody's cup of tea. We are asking for your approval to continue this event for one day, March 15th, and we understand that it's the weekend, it's a loud weekend. But we are asking for the approval for next March 15th. We enjoy working with the community and giving back to local charities such as the Ver Recovery House. We will continue to work closely with the Bisbee Police and also more private security, whatever you deem necessary. We paid an increased fee last year for law enforcement and are happy to do it. I work with law enforcement on a daily basis. Motorcycles are great tourists. Why, you ask? They're not in a car. They have no room to bring anything. Food, lodging, drinks, all must be purchased at their destination. While many businesses, some of whom are here tonight, are reporting record profits during our show, I have heard the complaints that our crowd does not benefit them during Prowl Weekend. Mayor, as you pointed out in our meeting to Matthew and I last weekend, it's hard for one event to raise all tides business-wide in the city. That being said, I want to remind you all that for many who attend the Prowl, this is their introduction to Bisbee and Cochise County. Many of our attendees return with friends and family to Bisbee. This includes Harley-Davidson corporate and international vendors that are coming to the show now. And that's the charm that Bisbee exudes. Hopefully all businesses benefit from our show at one time or another. With that said, I would hope you allow us to continue this event. We work personally every year with the citizens, the mayor, and the chief of police to improve upon any and all concerns. We are here tonight to be good partners with the City of Bisbee and to put on the best vintage motorcycle show in Arizona. We're happy to address and improve upon any questions, concerns you may have. We want to continue to bring good commerce and business to the City of Bisbee for one weekend of the year along with vintage motorcycles. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them right now, or we can move along to the next.
Yeah, my only question was, first to clarify, maybe it was misinterpreted what I said, is I didn't know if you had the votes.
Okay.
Because, to be quite honest, this single event is the one I get more complaints about than any event we hold in Bisbee.
Understood.
Okay, by the residents, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the noise, okay, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all, but I have to look at it as in the big picture, which is there's 52 weekends a year, okay? And out of those 52 weekends, there's probably 6 that are really big major events. So, you know, come on, 6 out of 52 ain't bad. So I don't have personally a problem, even though I live right above it.
Yeah, you're in the thick of it.
Yeah, and so that's fine because it, like I said, it doesn't raise all votes, but it will raise a good set of votes that we all need to be. We don't all want the same kind of event every single year, but that's why I've heard these complaints after the last event over the noise issues, and I wanted to make sure you guys were sound with the rest of my council. That's why I said what I did and what was happening. As far as, you know, this event is very different than any other event we have in respect that, one, it's a paid event. We have other paid events, but the area that you contain this paid event in also encompasses public area. I cannot deny a public person, whether it be a local or somebody that comes in from Tombstone, that they can't walk up and go to Elmo's or one of the other bars or any other events in the Gulch.
Absolutely.
And so that's where this one gets a little tricky. And so that's the one thing I want to keep emphasizing. If we can get that one taken care of to where you just let them in however you want to, that's fine with me, but we have to be sure that we leave certain areas open that can, because most of the people want to come, they want to see the bikes, they want
Sure.
to pay you, they want to do that, and those other ones, well, whatever they want to do. I don't think it's going to be a lot because you pretty well filled the town with your people.
Well, and our policy last year was essentially no questions asked. If you're a resident or if you're a tourist and you don't care about motorcycles, you want to go to Elmo's, you want to go to Bisbee Brewery or wherever, you're in, you don't need a wristband or whatever, walk in there, it's a free country still.
Okay. Well, if we can continue that and make sure that that's well understood, then that, I don't have a problem, because that's, that was just one area that we have to maintain, so. You know what, I'm gonna ask the council, do you want to speak now, or do you want to hear, let's go through the call to public?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do the call to public, and you, anybody that signed up here can have their 3 minutes. I can bring you up one at a time, or if you want to just line up. Yeah?
Would this be an appropriate time for a brief staff report?
Oh, sure. I didn't know if we were gonna have one, but we don't normally, but.
Thank you. We do when we have events.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring people's minds back to a period of time. I mean, I can remember back 18 years in Bisbee. And back at that time, when I was a kind of a new city manager here in Arizona, one of the things that we talked about a lot amongst the business community, amongst the government community, and the community in general is that we need more events, okay? So my goal 18 years ago was to have at least one noticeable event a month in my first year. And that we did, maybe not as big as people would want, but we did. It wasn't the Prowl yet, but it was other events that did that. And over the years, the number of major events that we host rises and falls. Obviously, we'd always like more. Depends a lot on the organizers, the enthusiasm, whether they make enough money to put on the event next year or not. It's very interchangeable, but one of the things that I noticed through all these years is that each event has its unique qualities. This one's no different, but yet they all give something unique to the community. Not everybody likes every event. In fact, from where I sit, I can come in on Monday morning after any major event and field several calls from people who don't like something about event X or event Y or event Z. But we know the bottom line is, from the staff's perspective, we know that we can handle it, and we know that it's good for the community. As you mentioned, Mayor, a few minutes ago, I sat in on the meeting with you and the organizers. Sergeant Nash was here representing Bisbee PD, and we went over a wide range of things. The police department and I had an opportunity to have a brief meeting to go over all of that. Subsequent to that meeting, prior to putting it on the agenda for tonight's meeting, and staff feels very comfortable that with the interchange that we had with the organizers of the event and the assets that we have to bring to the event to make sure that it goes off successfully, we can, with a good bit of confidence, we can recommend to the mayor and council approval of this request.
Thank you. So we'll go down the line. Sarah, would you like to have your 3 minutes?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for letting me have this time to address the council, and thanks to everybody for coming out. So my name is Sarah Prochnow. I actually live in the Gulch. My 86 and 87-year-old parents live in the Gulch. I have business in the Gulch, and I have buildings in the Gulch. And this particular event, for me, I was concerned would not be a great event for either my sleeping or my parents or my business. And for the last couple of years, it's turned into my #1 top event. I make more at my small retail establishment on this weekend than I make any other time of the year. Is it noisy? Yes. All of those things happen. But I have gone and spoken to the organizers when I've had concerns, and they've always taken the time to address those concerns, and I've seen them improve on the concerns that I've had regarding this event. So I have no doubt that they are willing to work with the city and the community in order to continue to bring this event to the city. And I think we should look at this as an opportunity to think about events in general. As Stephen said, you know, we have events here. There are a dime a dozen tourist towns, but not all tourist towns have the event calendar that we have. And so I think to be proactive instead of reactive, potentially I would like to offer the council to consider the formation of an ad hoc group that could come together in advance of these events coming before council so that we could address community members' concerns potentially. We could talk to organizers, we could get business owners together, and maybe we can look at some of these events so that we can address people's concerns, work with the organizers, and put on beneficial events for the entire town. That may stop you getting those phone calls after every event, and it doesn't matter. It could be the Prowl, it could be Pirates Weekend, it could be Pride. Maybe if we give the community, the council, the city, and the event organizers a chance to come together and discuss these events in advance and propose our suggestions, it would help make these events more profitable and more sustainable for our entire community. Like you said, no one event lifts all the ships in this town, but just because the Stair Climb brings me zero business doesn't mean I want to see it go away. It brings lodging huge business. It gets our town out there. Same with the Prowl. It's noisy for people who are staying in hotels, but with communication and with advance notice, those hoteliers can reach out to their guests and be like, we want to make you aware of this event. It all comes down to communication and to talking amongst ourselves. So I would like us to be proactive in this, and I'd be willing to work with anybody in this facet. So thank you again. Thank you.
Alex from Jean's Place?
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Alex. I own Jean's Place and the Hitching Post. Jean's Place is a new bar in the Gulch we opened this year. Microphone. And we are a small place. We are 49 capacity. So we have to basically get as much money as we can out of every person that walks in there. And I wanted to share just kind of how, it's true, you know, right? How impactful the Prowl is to our business. Because quite frankly, the Prowl weekend this year, we pulled in a total of just over $5,200 in sales that weekend. Now I know, remember, we're the smallest people around, right? So the other businesses pulled in quite a bit more. That represents a 140% increase over the previous weekend. That means it's an extra $3,000 that we were able to earn specifically because of the Prowl. That means that we were able to give, you know, sales tax revenue, just over $600 based on that. The other thing is each of our bartenders working that day brought home $400. And that was just off of tips. So they're tipping quite well, and they were very happy about this. And I asked them, how did it go? That was their response. So it is a significant event to us. And the other thing is, you know, we made an extra $3,000. You know what they asked from us? Nothing. Nothing at all. We didn't pay anything. We didn't have to do anything. We just had to be open. And that was quite nice. You know how many incidents we had? You know how many fights we had to break up? 0. You know how many glasses broke? None. I didn't even have to scrape gum off the bottom of the bar. Nothing went wrong. It was a perfect event. Everything was clean, orderly, everyone was friendly, and they paid well. So that's really my point here is that we had a pretty bad summer. And I think most businesses can agree that we did not make a lot of money this year. And every dollar counts. And this counts quite a bit because, you know, this is $3,000 that we didn't have before. And it helped us, you know, stay open another month, basically. That's what it comes down to. So I just want to share that with everybody. Thank you for the time, and I'll let everybody else speak.
Amy, that cow?
Yeah.
I love it when you put it in your rib.
What I'm gonna be like, or what No, so I'm a brand new business on the Gulch. I just opened like a month before the Prowl and had really no idea what that was gonna be all about because I've never seen it or heard of it. But I was excited about it, and it was awesome. The people that came through there are people from other countries that come to it. Like, it was just amazing. And financially, that was the best business day we've had so far. And so I'm here to support it, and that's all I got to say about that. Thank you.
Officer, you?
Yeah. Hello, Council. My name is Dana House. I'm an employee of Bisbee, and I just came to support the Prowl. It is our #1 busiest day of the entire year. We consistently every year, my staff and I have 0 issues. We have to 86 no one. My staff receive some of the highest tips they receive from anybody. The patrons that come in order top shelf liquor, they order premium food, they bring their families, and it's one of the most diverse groups of people that I see, including Pride and other events. So I cannot say that as far as business goes for me in the Gulch, it helps carry me through the summer. It's a good kickoff to that. So I will always support it every single year that they do it. The organizers are incredible to work with and acquiesce to all of our needs as business owners. And I just really hope that it happens because I love it. Thank you.
Ms. Martinez? Yeah.
Hello, my name is Henya Martinez, and I'm here representing the Silver King Hotel and Room 4 Bar, the smallest bar. My father, Manny Martinez, owns the place, and we believe that, well, let me just go back to my, we would like to advocate here in strong favor of permitting the Prowl event in 2025. The event definitely brings above average business to our establishment and helps foster a sense of personality and community for this area of town. To put the positive effect of the Prowl on our business in context, some weekends we barely break even. Others we make moderate income. We tend to make above average income on event weekends such as the Prowl and others, as other people have mentioned. We definitely did well with positive guest experiences during Prowl 2024, so it affects the business positively and we support it. Thanks.
Rob Page, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Rob Page, we own the Bisbee Coffee Company, Bisbee Table, Hotel San Ramon, and I just want to sort of, I guess, reiterate what everybody else has been saying, but I want to speak specifically to any no votes, and that is specifically that we are an event-driven town, and we depend on these events, just like every business downtown. If they tell you they don't, I don't think they're looking at the books. We have benefited greatly from Prowl. The Prowl has been one of those demographics that probably is the demographic that we'd like to see every weekend. I know the noise is tough, but noise specifically is defined as unwanted sound. And if you could, for a couple of days, enjoy a paradigm shift where unwanted sound becomes the sound of money. That paradigm shift may only last a few days, but it would be welcome to us. I think it would be welcome to Matthew. We have enjoyed working with Matthew. He's a great guy. He was actually one of the people that helped us with the first Blues Fest we ever put on. Our group put on 2 Bisbee Blues Festivals, 2 Rock Rehabs, and 2 Americana Festivals. And he has got his work cut out for him. He's a tough guy. I know that he can do it, and he's the future of special events in Bisbee, and I hope you put your support. I would love to see 7 votes. Thank you very much.
Ben LaPlante, here. Yeah, there you go.
Hi, Ken Budge. I moved to town shortly after the first Prowl, the very first one. I rode in on an old British motorcycle, and I thought Bisbee was great. I had been coming there as a little kid because my dad's a geologist looking for TD. So, anyways, just thought I'd mention that. For better or worse, I wouldn't be here without a Prowl. I also want to lodge a noise complaint against the cattle trucks with straight pipes, engine breaking down the highway. That's my only noise complaint. Thank you.
Agreed. All right, moving on, we have Jess. Pruitt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, council, and Honorable Ken Budge for giving me the time to say how much I love Bisbee. You know, I'm an Arizona local. The part of the thing that brought me down to this town was the varied arts and the love you have for different noises, especially since this town was built on exploding that pit. And so in the 50s, people would have DQ watching the explosions go off. So I think one day with the motorcycles is pretty comparable to maybe one day of dynamiting. But I love this event. I love that it's always been welcoming. In Arizona too, as a guy who plays music, who also builds cars. I watch towns like Jerome and stuff change and make it kind of a shell of what I remember as a child. And Bisbee feels like one of the last bastions of that sort of freedom and the Western spirit that really my grandfather loved and my father loves. So just thank you for letting events like this happen and for letting it touch us here. So thank you.
Is it Gold? Tammy? T Gold, G-O-L-D. Okay. Last one, Mike, what's your year?
I'm just here for support. I'm just here for support. My whole family comes down every year from all over the place, and we look forward to the event every year. So that's all. I didn't know I had to talk. I was just standing back here.
Real portion. I'm Mike Schmitzer. I'm co-owner of the Bisbee Brownstone right in the middle of the Gulch, and I want to give our support to the Prowl. It is the one weekend where we have, over the last 3 years, we have never had an issue with guests. Most of the other events, we have 1 or 2 issues. The Prowl has never brought an issue to us in our hotel. Thank you.
All right, that concludes the sign-up sheet. I'm going to end that now and open it up for discussion among council members. Start. Go ahead.
You know, as many of you know, I'm a new restaurant person here in town. I have a real appreciation for the challenges of the business environment here, and especially in the last year, especially this summer. That being said, I do get comments from people throughout the community. From my perspective, I've got 3 things I'm concerned about. Adequate level of security, and that's one thing. I guess this year we have police department support. Last year we did not. Is that my understanding?
Paid police.
Okay. Okay. You want to?
No, I'll let you say your 3.
Okay. The other thing is, and this one's near and dear to me. I know we've had some events in the past where our restaurant people in Old Bisbee were a little upset because we brought in outside food trucks to compete against businesses that serve like types food. So that's a concern that I'm like you to address a little bit. And access for our local citizens, making sure they're able to get up the gulch without being restricted. And we've touched on that already, so that sounds like that's been worked out.
Okay.
Like you're saying, to address that, like you're saying, you're planning to have 3 police officers, but last year we met with the city manager, the police chief, and the fire chief, and they recommended that we would have rangers, and we had no problem with that. We turned in our permit, and we were charged a $2,200 fee to have 3 police officers there. We contacted them, and they told us that was a decision that they made after the fact, which we took with not a problem. We paid the fee. So technically, sir, we last year were one of the first ones to pay this new fee that any big event in Bisbee has to pay the police force to be there for that. So yes, sir, we paid $2,250 to have 3 police officers there. I worked directly with the police chief here the best I could. I was on first standings with him, like I said. Me and him spoke during the day. Back again, like I said, it couldn't have worked out any better. Last year, the biggest concern that the police chief and the police chief and the mayor had was we could not get any big vehicles, and they were concerned about that. Well, while I was talking to the police chief up at the city park, at that time somebody had called in a tow truck, a big tow truck, and it was passing right in front of St. Amos. So, sure enough, that was a perfect time to show that we had did our best to keep the road open. He saw that that vehicle had no issues getting through. I left the conversation with him and went down there and helped direct that. I stood there till that vehicle had to come back down and made sure it made it through the town without an issue. Back again, there was someone, and it did not relate to the event, that had a dehydration problem back at one of the Copper Queens. I could see that we needed to get an ambulance back there. I made my initiative. Police, fire chief can verify. I worked directly with one of the gentlemen. I started moving bikes that did not belong to me. And when people came to address why I was moving motorcycles, it was because we had a bigger, serious issue in hand. I moved those bikes. That truck got through. I worked directly with the fireman and the EMT that was there and told him, if there's any other bikes or anything I need to move, you let me know. The gentleman that was working actually graduated with his cousin and knew him personally. Told him to contact me, gave him my cell phone number if there was any other issues that I could help with. Back in the afternoon, back again, I was working with the police chief. I stayed on the street till 2 in the morning, till all the bars closed. I do not drink. I've been sober 5 years because my father-in-law got cancer, and I decided to be a straight face. So I am on the streets through that whole event, doing that. That's another thing too is your concern about security. Like I said, I thought we addressed that with having the police there. We do have 12 members on our staff. We have probably about 27 staff members, people that are doing check-ins, people that are doing security. We have 12 security members, and back again, like what we turn into the liquor board, we show that we have security at all points. Maybe at some point you walk by and there wasn't there at the moment. We have over 14 walkie-talkies during the event to keep communication level up. We do our best, like we stated, I'm a man of the community, to make sure that these small things do not affect us. I've spoken too long, but what were the other things that you were concerned about?
Well, we talked about access already.
Okay, so the access issue, that was a concern that the mayor had.
We already addressed it.
No,
We already addressed it.
But we addressed it, but I want to be clear that we had no complaints this year about that. We had no residents, right, Mayor? So that concern about the citizens to be able to enter the community, we had no callbacks about that. So that should be dropped.
Actually was one.
One, we had over 2,000 people in town. We have one.
I know. You
Okay.
actually, it's a council member.
All right. Well, I apologize, ma'am, because back again, like I stated to you last year and the year before, we asked everybody to just state to our security staff, if you were a local, to roll out the red carpet, to not ask you a question. So I apologize if you ran into that issue again.
If they had asked me that before, they told me I couldn't go up there without, that would have been okay.
Okay,
But
but-
they told me that I had to give them identification that I was told that, okay? That I had to prove that I actually lived up there. And
Okay.
I said, well, that's not what you said at the city council meeting.
Yep,
And he
I
goes,
apologize
"Oh,
that somebody went to that extent, man, because like I said, what we do as well is, like I said, we have several members that help with the event. We meet at the city park 1 week prior to the event. We give pizza to everybody that's gonna help us to answer any questions. Back again, that's where we met with the Ver House. We have them go up there and I tell them what the plan is on how they're gonna help out. And at the same time explaining to them that someone that does not drink alcohol is the one putting the event together. So if they had any concerns, they could come to us as well.
All right.
Well, the other point I was trying to make, food trucks coming.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. I got a good one here, so check it out. The first 2 years, all we heard, and everybody can attest to this, that they had to wait 2.5 hours for food because we did not have enough places for people to eat. Rob Page can attest to this. Every year, he's done his best to be prepared 3 years straight with our one food vendor, he can't keep up. Okay? So what we did is we put one food truck up on top, sir. You've had other events that have several food trucks. We need to clarify that that issue you're running to has nothing to do with our events. We have one. See, you just said it. It's not to do with us. The biggest restaurant in town with a man that's been in this community running events. You don't think he's prepared for people to come? And he's telling me he can't hold up. So that issue of us taking from local restaurants, I don't see being an issue at all. All right?
Take it. Take it. Comments? The council, questions?
No, I do want to say thank you for coming tonight, and I'm really glad that this is a boon for all businesses. And I want to reiterate what Mayor Butch has said, that I do get the most complaints about this weekend. And I wanted to talk, and we've all talked about the noise. Is there any way we can encourage people to maybe not go up Tombstone Canyon in the middle of the night and
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about going on the highway?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I MC the event, so I'm on the microphone all day long. And I will happily announce that.
Okay.
And encourage all of that.
Yeah, if they could just be respectful to the residential areas, that I think is what annoys my constituents.
The two locals that I know in town who both have motorcycles said it's really gets annoying when I'm trying to go to bed after your event with motorcycles ripping up and down the street. And last year I think the main street was closed and there were still people getting lost and going down the wrong direction, which totally annoying. Understood.
Yeah. So, and that's the only issue that I really wanted to clarify with you guys, but otherwise, thank you for coming. I'm glad we got this event.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Adam.
The only issue I have, like I said at your last event, was making sure we have the proper insurance in place prior to. That's
Yes,
the
ma'am,
only-
and we have our insurance every year. We've dealt with your local, I forget his name, Arnhart, and this last year we've worked with farmers. We get an over $2 million insurance for the event. We work with professional businesses. We tell them exactly what we plan to do. So we do everything in our part to make sure that we have the insurance needed for the event.
Okay, I just want to tell you on behalf of everyone, nobody's against your event. I'm a businessman, we'll all benefit from the event. There's no question. Everyone here talking about this. I have an idea or question. You know that period is usually is a very busy period for Bisbee because it is spring break. I'm a number guy. Look at the numbers. The one complaint I get sometimes is we have spring breaks, we have everyone is here, and we have this event. Have you ever thought about moving the event maybe May where we don't have any events? And I'll be very supportive of this.
Okay, all right. So we did do the event for 5 years in May.
Okay.
We did it Memorial Day weekend. And what we were hearing from our patrons was it was too hot, that we did not have enough shade for the event. So like I said, when my father-in-law got cancer, I realized to stop the event, which was being done in May. And we reached out to our community because this is a community-built motorcycle event. And we said, guys, when do you want to see the event? We do this for you. We want to make sure everybody's happy. They all recommended March. We do it in March because it's the beginning of the season. It's the beginning of the riding season. We're technically one of the first events of the nation. It's been stated in magazines as well that we hit it right on the part of doing our event right. If you're a motorcycle enthusiast, you'd understand. And I don't mean this in a rude way. Over the winter, you're working on your bike, you're getting it ready, but you can't ride because it's too cold. March is right when the weather's getting good. So as a motorcycle enthusiast, you're excited to get out to that nice weather. So we did the event right around that time, and we feel that that has a big increase on why we have people coming all from across the country, because if you're aware as well, we have a lot of people that come from across the country, where it's still snowing, and down here it's not. So that's one reason we did choose March.
Anything else?
When you say overflow for parking in the mining, by the mining museum, I'm looking at this, we're not talking about going up the hill.
No,
or
ma'am.
we're not talking about that.
Just the 5 spots that are on the side of the museum.
Yes.
Correct.
The only other parking issues were, the small parking lot. When you come into Bisbee, you know, from the east, they were all over the grass, everywhere. Motorcycles, people couldn't park their cars in there at all. I mean, they double parked. My shop was right across from them, and I could see how people were parking. It was really.
Could you clarify that parking lot? That's the Naco Park.
On Naco Road.
Is that the one that we permitted?
No,
No?
it's the small one.
It's the first one when you first come in Old Bisbee on your left.
Oh, right
Okay.
across from the old groceries. Yes.
Okay.
So that was really difficult having, when people came in, there were motorcycles all up and down that little block. And so having, space for cars is eliminated or reduced dramatically.
And I'd just like to say, as a bike rider myself, I always enjoy this Prowl. You guys every year improve it, and it's great to have all these folks here tonight. And it's great to see everybody at the Prowl. I'm looking forward to the new event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, just to end this up before I call for a vote, one thing I did want to check into was, and you do have vendors, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and part of the permit has vendor fees, and none of that was submitted last year by you guys. It's not a big amount of money, but it's not following the rules.
Okay.
So, your vendor fees are $6 per vendor. That's what's on your permit.
Okay.
And it wasn't, you didn't follow up on the.
And I think that's just, yeah, that's up on our part, my part specifically.
So, I mean, I'm not holding, we're all in here to make this whole thing work.
Okay.
So, but if I don't say it, then
Yeah.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah, we have about, well, in the upper park, I think we have like 15 vendors up there.
Yeah.
So happy to pay that fee.
Whatever, or wherever you have them, it's fine.
Okay.
So, but that's my whole thing. Just, as long as we follow the rules, I'm all for it, because I just think, you know, that's the important part, that we all come together and understand where we are on all these issues, and then if they're not, we come back and discuss them and we can improve them going forward. And that's why I asked for the meeting and why I went down and took pictures myself to show you what I thought my problem was, so we were all on the same page. So it wasn't against anything, it was just to help you guys and help us so that we don't have any issues that could cause a problem.
Understood completely.
Right? Okay, guys? All right, anything else? Oh.
It's 3 days. I know it's the main day, but they come in on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, they hold an event in Naco on Friday night, and so, yeah.
We have a lot of people that come from across the country,
That's correct.
and they didn't want to just come for the one day. So these people, like I said, I would say realistically, and the hotels can verify it, 60% of the people come that are not from Arizona. This is from across the country. These people are putting, like I said, a lot of time and effort to come down to Bisbee.
Oh, that is, and we appreciate that, definitely. I was just talking about the noise every day.
Mayor, if I could, I just have about 20 minutes of legal issues I'd like to address.
Yeah, you already did that.
But did you mention that everybody that comes to the meeting has to stay till the end of the meeting?
No, That's why I put this on the first of the meeting instead of the very end. I could have really penalized you, put it in the last one.
I appreciate it.
Give you a little credit. All right, if there's nothing further, I will call for a motion on item 3.
I move to approve that we approve the park facility right of way use permit for the use of Brewery Gulch and City Park area for the Prowl to hold an event starting on Friday, March 14th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. and ending Sunday, March 16th, 2025 at 11:59 a.m. This includes setup and breakdown.
Second.
We have a motion, a second for item 3, which I'm not going to read the whole thing then. And basically for the right-of-way use permit for the Prowl. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hill. Councilmember Skinner.
Aye.
Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember Johns.
Aye.
Councilmember Sweet.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klein.
Aye.
Mayor Budge.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you, council.
Thank you. Sure. All right.
We can leave now, right?
Thank you, council. We appreciate the support.
Thank you so much. Just 2 seconds break. Thank you very much.
Whoops, my job. All right. Cassandra?
Yeah.
Here, let's talk over here. What a relief for you. Here, let's face over here. Your thoughts here tonight?
I'm just glad that everybody actually showed up and came to show support, because that was the biggest issue they were saying, was that they didn't think that a lot of money went back to the local businesses. So being able to show that and you know, have the support of so many places just kind of, it puts a, you know, a light in your eye.
Yeah, because you had a full house tonight. And again, there was some concern that you had heard some rumors that maybe some of the council members might vote against it. And do you think that if there was some thought in their mind of voting against, the show of support tonight certainly helped?
Oh, definitely.
At least put pressure on to change their mind.
Yes, exactly. I think that a lot of the people who had that idea that you know, we didn't bring that much business to the local businesses, this definitely brought them the other way.
Yeah. Well, all right. Looking forward to things. You're going to be working some things out, you know, to make this coming year even better than last year.
Always.
And we're looking forward to it in March of 2025.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. That's all right. Well, there you have it, folks. We had a special meeting tonight here. Well, it wasn't a special meeting. It was actually a city council meeting. But, of course, they voted on whether or not the Prowl was going to continue in the Gulch area of Bisbee. And the vote was unanimous tonight to continue. Thank you.